Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Eric.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right, too. This morning was a little tougher.
A little slower.
Getting going.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a big part of this whole thing. I think that we have to take it day by day and, figure out what makes you driven, what makes you encouraged, and what makes you happy.
Yeah. I think that,
And by the way, this, for me, is a part of what makes me happy.
What, getting up and doing this whole...
Yeah, reaching out to people, talking to people, having some regularity in your life.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, I think something that calmed me down today, I enjoy doing the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very calming.
Nice.
I did push-ups.
Great.
Shouts to Rembert.
Yep. Are you going to shave? To be determined.
To be determined.
This is day 8, something in that area, maybe
something
day
like
7.
That, yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on my Unabomber beard.
Right. You have looked in the mirror. You've seen yourself.
Yeah.
What do you see?
I don't think it looks bad yet.
Well, to be fair, you have not gone to the post office. You have Unabomber.
No, I get it. Yeah, no,
that is true.
I have not. I've not ordered anything off of Amazon that looks suspicious. I've not written any screeds.
Not yet.
I did. I did start writing like a journal. I wrote that on the first day that we were like really quarantined.
Yeah.
So that was like 3 days ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I haven't done anything since, just because we've been doing this and we've been, I've been photoshopping and doing a bunch of like stuff.
Yeah. Work stuff.
Yeah. But like I put down my thoughts like the first day.
That's good. I hope that you continue that.
Yeah,
Shout out to our mom.
I have nothing else going on, so,
Our mom gave this great bit of advice to people, which is to keep a Wonderful Things book. Yep. She does as well. Mm-hmm. She has been for a long time now.
Yeah, ever since...
like 5 years or something like that?
More than that. Ever since... I thought it was ever since...
She moved back to New York.
Oh, right.
So 5 years.
Yeah.
And shout out to our mom who did that. Please go check out Quarantine Radio episode number 1 with our mom, Jack Harlow, and Big Waz. Mm-hmm. And then yesterday, we did Quarantine Radio episode number 2
with Jamel Hill and Lenny S. and...
Rembert Brown.
Rembert Brown.
Has it been that long, Jeff?
I just feel like I'm losing my mind. So, it's also like we have a lot of plans for people who are coming up. So
this is true, too. And today we have 3 great guests, and we're looking forward to getting them on the line. Hopefully all the technology works. Shout out to everyone who's been excited about Quarantine Radio, because this was an idea born out of circumstance. Here we are without the ability to... or
do anything.
Or without the want to invite people over. We're living in a time...
I think we still could invite people over. Like, people are still doing things in groups of less than 10.
Right. I felt guilty today going to Dunkin' Donuts. Like, seeing the people there, I quickly, inserted my credit card, got my coffee, and dipped. Like, I don't want to even, look them in the eye. Like, I try to, and I try to give them some acknowledgement, but there is this heavy thing where it's like, how do we interact socially anymore?
Because what?
Because we're supposed to stay away from each other?
Well, no, I know that. But I'm saying, even in social situations, you can't, keep up that same sort of...
It all feels a little strange and different and not human. Humans should be able to interact. This is forced isolation, and that's scary and different. And I think that's what... Not to, pat ourselves on the back, but I think that's what makes this... unique and special, which is that we're trying to give you human connection in a new way that is sort of today's day and age.
I don't think this is new.
You don't think so?
No, I think that people have been doing call-in shows forever, and this is not the first one.
But this is the first one dedicated to this crisis that we're in right now.
So shouts to us. Please follow.
So we'll try this right here. There we go.
There we go. Good audio.
Yeah. Marsh.
Sorry, I was talking to Julie. My bad.
Marsh, how are you?
Your boss?
I'm great, guys. How are you?
We're doing all right. We're hanging in there.
Wait, how did you end things with your boss?
With Julie?
Yeah.
Listen, it's good conversations. Just good conversations. You got to check in every day.
That's right.
Make sure everybody's still working and functioning.
No, but I didn't know if you were just like, listen, I got to do an interview right now with 2 guys who can't leave their house.
I got to go on Quarantine Radio. I got to go.
Marsh, it was all good a week ago. Also,
a week ago.
It was all good like a month ago when we all did karaoke for your birthday party. And
Oh yes, we did. That was good.
we were all, like human beings do, hanging out with each other, singing songs, threatening to do R. Kelly songs together.
No, I was out on R. Kelly.
One of my favorite things is that Marsh would have the remote control and cut songs off.
Yeah, because y'all don't know when to cut it loose.
No.
It's literally supposed
Not
to be
us.
verse.
Yeah.
Not us.
It's supposed to be verse hook. That's it. We're not doing hook verse hook verse hook verse. We're not doing 3 minutes. It's 1:15 max, maybe 1:30.
So this is Marsha's birthday party. She had the remote. When she cut off after verse hook, she threw the remote control at someone else and looked at me and was like, I don't know.
Because everybody kept thinking it was me.
That was great.
I'm
It
just
was
saying.
you.
It was you.
That's not the point. They don't have to know it was me.
Marsh, how are you holding up considering the world's ills?
I mean, listen, all things considered, listen, I'm healthy. Our business is still continuing to, flourish.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, our product, it can move anywhere. You don't have to be with anybody. I think it's one of the things right now that we're thankful to even have.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that yesterday. You can stream whenever, wherever,
you want.
and hopefully you're doing that a lot.
With less than 10 people, and it still be fine.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm glad that, we are in an industry where at least the recorded music side of it is still, working and functioning. I know people are, still struggling in the live music space because that's how a lot of our artists get paid.
Yeah.
It's, doing shows and going on the road and promo tours. But hopefully we'll be back. Hold on one second. Why do you have on your rain boots? You can't ride a bike with rain boots.
Marsha is
on the right shoes.
I don't think those are the right shoes, but I'm on the phone. So
I
as soon
think
as
they're
I
on
finish
the-
talking to Eric and Jeff, you think you can ride a bike with rain boots?
Yeah, you can.
It's Eric and Jeff. Say hi to Eric and Jeff.
Hi, Eric.
Hey, how are you,
Hi,
August?
Jeff.
Hi, August.
Hi.
He got a whole pair of LL Bean orange rain boots talking about he want to go ride his bike.
Yo, I love it.
LL Bean, do you have a white child?
First of all, I'm half white on the inside. Don't play with me. I have very white ways about myself.
That's right. Marsha's gonna have a big Passover Seder at her house this year.
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna have the plate with the little holes in it and everything. With the little scoop outs in it.
Marsh,
Yep.
you're as people now know, you are a mother.
I am.
And
I am.
and you say I sound like Yo Gotti.
Yeah.
And your son is going through this like we're going through this. How do you explain things to him?
Well, we're not getting too deep into all of it. You know what I mean? I think right now it's early, so he's not realizing how long he's going to be out of school.
Yeah.
But, it's more about, what's affecting it is like usually, because right now we're on spring break technically, we would be, his nanny would be coming over. We would be going to, the indoor parks and, the indoor gyms and those kinds of things. But we can't do that. So just explaining to him that, listen, there's a virus that's making people very sick. And we don't want anybody to get sick. We don't want to get sick. We don't want to make anybody else sick. So we need to find things to do that don't have a lot of people. So
What are those
that's
things?
enough.
Besides like putting on your rain
riding
boots
your
and
bicycle.
riding
Like,
around?
that's why
Yeah.
we go, exactly, that's one. Riding your bicycle. I can take him outside to teach him how to ride his bike because he's on a 3-wheeler right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take this time to teach him how to ride a 2-wheeler. Fortunately, we have a backyard.
Yeah.
We can go into a park if we really wanted to. Like Friday, it's going to be 75 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, I'm going to have to pack up the car, even if it's like a bat and a ball, and just take him outside to get fresh air. Because he's not going to make kids are not going to make it just cooped up in the house all the time. So we just do, small things like that. Maybe it's a movie afternoon. We do puzzles. But it's a lot because I got to do that in the middle of, conference calls and video calls and texts and calls with managers and artists still. But,
Yeah. Marsh, what is the kids song that you are currently sick of?
That's a good question.
Oh no, it's not. It's not even sick of. Well, no, you don't have to tell you what song I'm sick of. From the Sonic movie, it's called. What's it called? Speed Me Up. It's actually, you know what it is? It's actually Wiz's record. It's Wiz, Ty Dolla $ign, and Yachty.
Yo.
So it's keeping
If
the
I hear
lights
that
on.
one time- Yo, between that and Supersonic, I'm done.
you love Wiz. You never want to hear the song again.
Oh my God, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Supersonic. I'm done with Supersonic. Trust me.
Did you see the original Sonic the Hedgehog like artwork, like the trailer?
No.
You didn't see this? It was a big to-do online like a year ago.
What happened?
No, because they got the art all wrong. They made Sonic look like...
Yeah, his teeth were all messed up.
He looked a little more...
Was he scary?
He looked a little bit more quote-unquote realistic.
Right.
Hold on. Get out of the refrigerator. What do you want? Where's your water bottle? No, you don't.
I almost want to interview August. I want to think. I want to get
that's what
his take on
every conference
things.
call sounds like. Every call, every video chat. His head is in the video chat. He's in every fucking conference call, like, mommy. I'm like, listen, this is just what it is, guys.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So people who follow you on Instagram and have for a while probably know how great you are in the kitchen. And you used to be the type to give instruction out and belittle those who did not know how to cook. You'd be like, yo, if you bitches out there don't know how to saute an onion, kill yourself, right?
They don't have to kill themselves, but they should fucking just beat it.
Right.
Right, scram.
If you don't know how to beat an egg, beat it. And so you have started to bring that back in bits and pieces I've seen. What are you cooking these days, and how are you sort of going through what's in your refrigerator?
So the other day, I definitely hopped back in the kitchen. What did I make? What the hell did I make? Babe, what did I make the other day? Oh, I started with French toast, banging with challah bread.
Yeah.
Oh, challah bread.
Part Jewish, yeah.
With challah bread, that was part of the key to the whole flavor of the whole thing. Challah bread is important, so that was popping in the morning. In the afternoon, I gave them, the Haitian rice and peas with a fucking oven roasted chicken. You liked it? August said he liked it. You want some more? See, my baby wants some more.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So we started with that. I think, and everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta cook more. First of all, I have a full-time plus career and a kid, so it's like I would love to cook more, but I think the quarantine kitchen might kick off for this time that we're down.
That'd be smart.
You want to do a spin-off of Quarantine Radio?
Yeah, listen. Cooking in the quarantine, we can do it. Like, this ain't nothing.
Marsh, do you remember that we used to do a podcast?
Time for all the bad bitches to learn how to do something other than contour their eyebrows.
Yo, by the way, rest in peace to all the Instagram influencers.
No, I think the influencers are popping right now.
Really?
Why would they rest in peace? This is their time.
This is our time, Eric.
No, how do you
our time?
How do you take a picture in a sort of remote island?
Nah, that's not an influencer.
Yeah, you don't know anything.
That's an IG model. Influencers.
By the way, IG models are all on OnlyFans now. Like it evolves. It evolves. We're out here. we are.
All right. So
this is like the time of our lives.
Yeah.
What is OnlyFans? What is that?
OnlyFans.
That is a paywalled service where you can put up.
You just get content, right? And
it's very not
popular.
Just content.
It's very popular amongst porn stars.
Yeah.
Oh, they're naked and stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
You subscribe to a certain porn star and pay them for their.
And then they do stuff. I didn't know that. How do you know that?
Marsh, we're online.
I'm not just an OnlyFan. I'm also a client and the president.
The baby father was like, well, why don't you know that? I'm like, well, why do you know it?
Why do you know that,
all about
August?
OnlyFans, apparently.
Yo, shout out to the baby's father.
Shout out to all the OnlyFans out there.
Yo, shout out to the baby's father, who we always love to see in your Instagram, regardless of whether he's right or wrong in terms of his musical taste.
Oh, come on, guys. You know where his taste lies.
We do. Wait, what 1987 song are you sick of right now?
You said what?
What song from 1987 are you sick of from right now?
No, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the fact how he was totally wrong about what the fuck is the name of that?
On to the next one.
On to the next one.
He said that Jay-Z top songs that get the party started. On to the next one.
This is what happened. Let me tell you what happened. We were talking about Swizz Beatz, right?
Yeah.
Friend of the room.
Friend of the room.
Yes.
Talking about Swizz Beatz. And
BX.
the last time Swizz made a hit for Jay. He was like, well, Jay's the last time Swiss had a hit. Well, he had a hit with Jay 10 years ago. I was like, wait, what song was it? So we're looking at the catalog, and he was like, oh, on to the next one. I was like, on to the next one? I was like, on to the next one wasn't a hit. He was like, oh, you fucking crazy? That was a hit record. I was okay, let's talk about what the definition is of hit, though. He was like, nah, I'm not talking about, see, you love to talk about all that sound scan and charts, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a hit just when it comes on in the club, it gets the club going.
Moves the needle.
When I really went up.
Yeah.
I was like, on to the next one? Gets the club jumping? Nah. No.
Yo, you know what gets the party started around here?
You
know what gets the party started around here? That Sonic shit.
Woo!
See, that'll get it jumping over here.
Yo.
Well, you're yelling.
Who?
So that's what really set me up, is when he said it gets the club jumping.
Yo,
never has.
What clubs does the baby fathers go to?
I don't know. Him and his brother Smitty be going. I don't know where they're going. They go places, and I guess it gets that jumping.
Yeah, Marsh.
I don't know.
Before we called you up, we were playing, just to get us in the mood for some Marsha St. Hubert. We were listening to Wish and Fonda Rae, "Touch Me."
Yeah. Hold on. Oh, sorry. But I'm having 3 conversations. The kid is talking. Baby father's talking. My bad.
The kid.
Yeah, the kid.
I was saying before we got
he's the prince.
Before we got you on the phone, we were getting into that Marsha St. Hubert mood, right? That headspace.
And what were we listening to?
Wish and Fonda Rae, "Touch Me."
Whew. Who's Fonda Rae?
What?
I wish we could play it right now, but then we would.
Wait, who's Fonda Rae, babe?
Marsh.
Oh my god, here we go. Here we go. He's like, oh my god, it's a damn shame. You in the music business.
It is.
You know who Fonda Rae is?
It is a damn shame. And when I play it for you, you're gonna be like, oh.
Yeah, it gets the party started.
But come on, if it's a song, I should just know the.
You don't know this, Marsh? You're gonna know it in a second.
We're giving up all our music rights right now.
Also, our neighbors are gonna hate us.
I swear I don't know this.
Yes, you do.
Here we go, Marsh. Here we go, Marsh. Ready?
I don't know it.
Now you'll know it right here.
Definitely don't know this song.
Oh my God, Marsh.
Wait. Oh, touch me.
Yeah.
Hold me. Oh, love me all night long. Right?
Yep.
Oh, I know this. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Disrespect. Who is Fonda Rae?
You know damn well who Fonda Rae is.
Because you didn't pay for that.
Yo. Marsh, does yesterday's announcement of that this is going to take like 8 weeks, maybe longer, to get through scare you?
100%. It's creating anxiety for me that I didn't even know I had. It's just, but it's like, how are we supposed to survive 8 weeks with no restaurants? The kids are not going to school. You know, like, people are not riding in Ubers. You're not going really to the pharmacy or like, just as a society, like, okay, let's say it does last 8 weeks. What happens after that? Like, people can't go to work. They don't get, not everyone is as fortunate as, you know, people like myself are, where you can work from home and still get your paycheck. There are people that if you do not go to work, you do not get paid. So now you, like, for example, they close the malls in Jersey. So you're going to close that mall for 8 weeks? The mall's closed for 8 weeks? That's insane.
It is insane.
Yeah.
It's a hard reality.
New Jersey has the biggest malls in America, makes the most money in the United States of America. So we're going to remove all of that revenue from our economy for 8 weeks? Like, that's what makes me really nervous. That's the part. It's not about staying home. Not even the part about the fact that my kid's going to be home until at minimum April 20th. He'll be fine. But I'm more concerned just about our economy and in the long run, how this is going to affect, like, you know, those people who are living check to check and who can't, like, people who go to work when they're sick because they can't even afford to be sick.
Yeah. Like,
that's what, when I start thinking about that, that's where it gets, you get like that pain in your chest. And you're like, yo, this is insane. It's craziness.
Are you concerned at all about your asthma?
I am, because I am, for those who don't know, I am definitely extremely asthmatic. So I have everything that I need. I have my pumps. I need to refill my pump today. Thank you for reminding me. But I have my pumps. But that's my biggest concern, is I can't really play this game with people. Like, even before this, like my last trip to LA, I knew that had to be my last trip, because I just couldn't chance it. Like, yes, I'm young, but I am actually in that category of people who have pre-existing conditions. So unlike everybody else, when everybody else catches a cold or everybody else has allergies, they can just push through it. For me, even before this, that can land me in the hospital. So that is in the back of my head, but I'm also not going to start living my life based on fear and letting this anxiety take me over. I just do the best that I can. I take my medication, I pace myself, I don't overdo it, and I sit my ass at home as much as I can.
So even with you being isolated from your work situation or from your normal social situation, you live in a house with 2 other people. How do you get alone time that's good for your mental?
To be honest, I don't necessarily need alone time. Like, I barely see my family when I usually have my work days. So it's not like when I'm at home, I'm now running away to be away from my son and to be away from the baby's father. That's really not what I'm trying to do. Like, this is a time where you want to be together. Mm-hmm. Like, and while there are some people who are like, yo, I'd rather be alone, I wouldn't. I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather be with my family.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be with you. Yeah.
Marsha, we can't afford these royalty rights.
I'd rather be with you. Yeah,
it sounds too much like the radio record.
Like, who wants, like, in a time like this, like, listen, I guess some people are like, hey, I totally would rather be alone. But in a time like this, like, I wouldn't want to be sitting in my house just watching CNN, you know, just having my brain just be spiraling into who knows what. I'd rather have my kid. I'd rather have, you know, Kareem here. I'd rather have my partners at work who I can talk to via Microsoft Teams, so that we can continue to have some sense of normalcy.
Are you in touch with all your artists regularly?
Not everybody. I spoke to Cardi yesterday. You know, she's like everybody else who's like, yo, this is crazy. Side
note, Cardi goes viral even when she's not herself, like
when she's minding her own business.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
You know, but I'm speaking to my managers, I'm speaking to the staff, I'm speaking to the team. I mean, it's really not that big. It's not a huge difference. It's just less in person in the office, but you know, we're still speaking to our managers and artists as we usually would, still coming up with plans and, you know, different ideas of how to do this thing.
In like 8 weeks or whatever, when things supposedly are supposed to return to normal, how eager are you to go back into the office?
I don't know. I've only been out for 3 days, so I don't know about 8 weeks from now. I'm sure I'm going to be glad to go back in. I'm sure I think everyone's going to be glad to just resume their quote unquote usual behavior. Even though before it was like, oh my God, this fucking office again. You know, too much of anything. Like, you can never be on vacation for, you know, 2 months. You're like, all right, now I'm bored. Mm-hmm. Especially for us, the way that we work and the way that we function. I actually like my coworkers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know other people don't, but I love the people that I work with. Like, shit, they make my day go sometimes. Sometimes the worst days it turns around because of the people who I'm fortunate to work with every day.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be excited to see them.
I'm
not going to hug them or nothing, but I'll still be
No, because there's no more hugs ever again.
Yeah, can't hug ever again.
Never.
Ever.
Is August able to play with other kids?
No play dates. We can't go to, like, you know how they have like those indoor play areas.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them. They're not all closed, but I'm not taking him to that. You know, so like now it's like literally it has to be us. So I just try to figure, like, we're just getting started, of course, but I'm trying to make sure that every day, like today, as soon as I got off the phone with you today, we're going outside so he can ride his bike. We're gonna do
with his
something.
Rain boots on.
With his rain boots, I don't care. Like I'm gonna try to make sure that every day we do something. You know what I mean? But playing with other kids, I just don't feel comfortable.
Marsha,
I
what's your Amazon looking like right now?
Oh, my Amazon is done. I got my waters, toilet papers, lotions. So I got everything I needed. Well, Amazon was popping over the weekend, though. Yo, it was popping over the weekend. It was here like 2-3 times a day over the weekend.
Did you get anything you definitely didn't need and you're just like, fuck it?
Yeah, it wasn't me. Kareem went to Fairway and came back with literally 7 packs of bread. I don't know why. So yesterday, Offset was on Instagram talking about anybody got bread. Everybody was hitting me like, yo. Everybody's like, yo, you want to get Offset some bread?
Yo, Kareem's smart. He's running this bread market.
$17,000 of bread.
Wild amounts of bread, and we did succumb to the wild amounts of toilet paper. Wow. I don't know why. I don't know. We have wild bread. We have wild toilet paper, so we'll be good.
You will never run out of toilet paper.
No, we won't. We're so good on the toilet paper.
By the way, we need bread. I just remembered.
I'm telling you, I have challah bread. I got wheat bread. I got all brioche buns. So much bread, it's absurd.
Well, Marsh, we're glad to hear your voice. We're glad to hear your.
How are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?
We're doing this every day. Like this is.
You're not doing it all day.
No, we're not doing it all day.
Although yesterday we did 2 episodes.
Yeah, but now it's a once a day thing. I think that it makes us feel better to provide this to people out there who may feel like alone, who may feel like they're overwhelmed, like they're at a loss of how to feel.
Yeah, so I think that we're providing like a little bit of normalcy every single day. We're gonna do weekends.
Yeah,
I was about to ask, are the weekends too?
Yeah,
I think.
And then for how long? Do you think
forever.
You could do this for 8 years?
There is no new world. This is we're already in it.
But
this is it.
To call in to check in on people is good for our souls and hopefully theirs as well. And hearing your voice is always a bright element to our day.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
So, by the way, now I have Wish and La Fonda or whatever stuck in my head.
Marsh.
Well, hopefully, guys, we'll be seeing each other in person soon.
I really hope so. Send
Until
our love.
then, air hugs.
Yes, send our love to Kareem and to August and to anybody that you run into 6 feet from you. And we love you, Marsh. Take care of yourself.
Love
Be safe.
you guys too.
And we'll talk to you soon. All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Say bye.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, August. But shout out to Marsha St. Hubert. Please do listen to her episode of A Waste of Time with It's the Real. Really, really, really great story about someone who, found her way in the music business and capitalized on that and has made a difference with Wiz and Cardi and
Gucci,
Kodak, Mano,
Lupe,
DJ Drama. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Jeff, how are you? How are you feeling within these 4 walls, generally speaking?
Generally, I feel pretty good. I think that, again, getting up today was a little bit tougher, but, I think that it's not the physical space.
Yeah.
Like it's like Marsha was just talking about. It's the idea of like what happens when one domino falls and then like all the other dominoes.
The mental space.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I have anxiety about all this other stuff that's happening that I can't control.
Right.
So.
But
I can do everything I can do.
That's right.
Which is sit here and I can get more bread later.
Bun, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How are you?
I'm running some errands right now, actually.
You're out in the world.
Yes.
What is it like out there?
It's like Terrordomes, it's like a new Mad Max movie.
Does that mean that you've like retrofitted your car with extra metal? How
many skulls do you have?
It's not bulletproof in your car anymore. Now you got to bacteria-proof it.
How
proof?
Besides everything, what has changed in your life in the last week?
Dap.
Yeah,
I can't dap anymore.
Yeah, that's it. And I get pretty good dap too, so I'm a little hurt by that.
Who is somebody you have like a very complicated handshake with?
The True Gladiators. Like each one of them has their own kind of like handshake, and I get frustrated because I'm like, nobody made a handshake for me. But I feel like I'm too old to be like making up new dap, but at the same time, I need to know all the new dap. It's just like the new music. Like I need to know what's the new handshakes that are like gang affiliated.
Yep.
I need to know that.
before we get into everything in terms of like your mental and your physical and like your everyday life, you a couple weeks ago were in the studio with Zaytoven and a bunch of other people. I think Jazzy Faye too, right? And
Yeah.
you guys were working on new stuff, and it's not really a secret, but you put it on Instagram stories and all that.
Yeah.
What is this project and what becomes of it?
Well, it's called Trilltoven.
That's dope.
It's crazy because I haven't really gotten to talk to. I've seen him in passing many times, right? Like when Gucci Mane had Black Tea, right? Like he produced Black Tea for Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
And so he was in the studio when I did the remix for that. And there's been all these different times where I've been in Atlanta recording music with different people where he's been like the producer, but we never really got to have an extended conversation. So my first time really like talking to him and letting him know I fucked with him musically was at Chicago Complex Con.
That's insane.
Right. And so there's this huge amount of mutual respect that we have for each other. And I was like, man, I would love to, lock in with you and do some music. He was like, yeah, fuck it, we could do a whole album, because at the time, he had, just done like the Gucci Mane project. And so that's kind of the thing that he has been on lately, are these full albums.
He did the project with Usher too, right?
Right, the Atlanta albums, well, the A album, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of what he's on right now, right? Like doing albums where he controls everything, which is, it seems strange nowadays, but that's kind of how music always was.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's only in the last maybe 25 years where we have these projects that are produced by multiple producers and whatnot. And so he's just kind of taking it back to like more of the origin, right? People being able to like lock in and catch a vibe, right?
So Go ahead.
No, I was saying I've done that with Cool and Dre. Over the last 2 years, I've locked in with Cool and Dre and done some stuff. I've locked in with Manny. Manny's probably the most extensive that I've done.
I mean, you just did the Static project.
Right, the whole Static, Trill Static album, you know what I'm saying, which is the first one of these kind of collaborative projects to actually release, right? And but it just when he said he was interested in locking in, I mean, one, he's very prolific, right? He's made hundreds of beats, if not thousands, that he's put out into the marketplace, and I feel like we kind of represent the same movement in terms of music, and so it's a natural fit, and it just makes all the sense in the world that Bun B and Zaytoven is doing an album together. Now, that being said, I've never rapped over more beats outside of Pimp C than with Manny Fresh. So, like, out of all the producers that I've worked with, Pimp C is obviously the number one producer I've done songs with, but Manny's number two.
So where are those songs?
None of those albums are done. Like the Cool and Dre project, I haven't been able to go back and work on that in probably close to a year now. The Manny stuff, Manny has a house in Houston, so it's really just about whenever he's in Houston for a couple of days, us finding the time to go in and lock in and get stuff done. The Manny album's a lot more ambitious, I think, than any of the other ones, because I've had the longest relationship with Manny, and so Manny's very aware of what I'm capable of, so Manny doesn't want to do a lot of typical stuff. Right, like Manny is like, yo, a record, and we should do that kind of record, and you should do a song where you're rapping like this, or you should do a song that's talking about this. And so the Manny Fresh album is something it's a lot more ambitious, I would say, than the other projects in terms of where he's pushing me to go.
Right. Is Manny the most direct in like saying what he likes and what he doesn't like when it comes to you?
No, nobody's really saying that they don't. It's not about what they like and what they don't like. It's more about capability, right? So Manny's the one that's like, I think you should do this kind of a record because you haven't really done a record like that, but you can. So I think you should, right? So a lot of it is it's different, right? Because it goes from being like very introspective to very silly.
Mm-hmm. Wait, can you give us like a sort of glimpse as to like what is silly? When you say silly, like what does that mean?
I mean, first of all, everyone knows that Manny Fresh has a great sense of humor.
Yeah, and also Bun does too. Bun was on our song "Girls with the Dirty South." So
Yeah.
I mean, like I know that Bun can go left. I want to know what silliness means in this case.
Well, just being like making songs that, you know, it's not about the content. It's just about having fun, right? And so, you know, we've done some very serious stuff like, but I think you should talk about hip hop in this way and these kind of things. And then it's just like, yo, fuck it. Why don't we just do a song where you're doing this and you're like 5 different people on the record and all 5 people are arguing kind of a thing.
So
and I'm like, okay, let's try it. And they're actually like really, really interesting records.
That's dope.
And you've known Manny forever because you were fucking with Cash Money really early. And you were there. Is this true? You were there when Manny and Baby met?
I was there when they decided to do business together. So we were all in Lafayette at the University of Southern Louisiana at a concert, and Manny Fresh was with this guy named Gregory D back then. Gregory D was a rapper from New Orleans. So they had a big record it was a song about college. I can't remember the name of it. So they had a big record, and I think Baby and Slim were there with UNLV.
Mm.
And so it was and we were there, and Too Short was there, and this guy, Ron C, from Dallas was there. And so all of us eventually started doing music together. Like I started making music with Cash Money. We did a song with Ron C. That was kind of the beginning of Pimp C and Too Short's very long, deep friendship.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even say friendship. They became like brothers. They were Too Short was very much a big brother to us throughout our career, with us both being on Jive.
Yeah.
And so a lot of really great music came out of this one show.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Bun, jump into where we are today. How are you feeling?
I'm okay. You know, I spend a lot of time at home anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one of those people that feels like I need to go out and interact with people. Like, quiet as kept. I really don't like people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a sociable person, right? But I'm not societal, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't need to be around people to feel good about myself or anything like that, but I'm not antisocial. When I do go out in public, I'm very sociable. I'm very approachable. I'm very kind to people, you know, because I get a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the rapper that people walk up and be like, yo, that last shit was whack. And I've been around rappers where that's happened, right? Like, yo, I fuck with you, but that last album was trash.
Jesus.
Like, it's amazing kind of shit that people would say to people, you know? But I don't really get that. A lot of people, you know, especially at home in Houston, I get a lot of love in the city. You know?
Yeah.
People buy me drinks. People offer to buy our dinner all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I very rarely accept because there's always something else they want when they do that.
Yeah.
But I am very gracious to people and polite to people. But there's no place I would rather be than in my house, like in my underwear watching TV. And that's kind of what the average day of me and Queenie out in the world is like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what we do. We sit. If I'm not out really making any money, or if I don't have to pick up my grandkids or some shit like that, or I'm at home.
And what are you
comfortable.
What are you watching at home, and do you and Queenie watch the same programs?
No, we do not. Actually, Queenie is not like a TV show movie person at all.
Wait, so what does she?
Like, Queenie hasn't watched the Fridays.
None of them?
No.
There's like 6 of them.
Yeah, like we had a family gathering this weekend for my sister-in-law's birthday, and I think they were doing like all 3 Fridays. So when everybody first got there, it was on next Friday, and then it went into Friday after next. And she was like, "Why is this Ice Cube movie still on? This movie been on forever." And I'm like, "No, this is the third one. That was the first one. Was the second one. This is the third one."
But
Queenie was raised by her grandmother. She spent a lot of time with her grandmother, and the grandmother really just listened to talk radio.
So if we were to catch you by yourself watching TV, what's on the screen?
Times out of 10, The Office. I mean, I pretty much just watch the entire season, the entire show, all 10 seasons of The Office.
All 10? So, okay.
I'll go to.
Here's the thing. The Office, I think, was a great show when I was first watching it, but in rewatching it so often, I'm just like, I can only really watch seasons 2, 3, 4, and 5, I think.
No, I'm watching it all. I mean, it's, I think Michael Scott probably is the third greatest television character ever created.
Who were the first two?
Yeah, who?
Behind
Tony
Archie
Soprano?
Bunker.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Archie Bunker, and then Omar from The Wire.
Wow.
I don't think any character was as well written and well acted as Omar. Just the anomaly of who he was in the streets, how respected he was, despite the fact. I mean, you don't come across a character who is as complex as Omar was, dealing with the sexuality, dealing with the street aesthetic, all of these kind of things. And I think Michael K played it brilliantly,
And Michael Scott, you would say, is better than Tony Soprano.
Yeah, I mean, and special mention actually would. I like to think that the best played out character is actually Larry David's character, but he plays himself, so I can't really say it's a character, right? But
right.
I mean, like when I watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, I cringe every episode.
Yeah.
I cringe because I'm like, I can't believe that. I'm like, he's not going to do what I think he's going to do. He can't possibly be about to do what I think he's going to do, and then he does it.
Or something worse.
Right, and it's just like and I feel like a lot of it is, it's a play off his own neurosis, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like this might have happened. Like, obviously, Vivica Fox didn't move in his house, and
right.
There's no JB Smoove in his life in that sense, except JB Smoove. But
right.
Just some of the interactions that he has, right? It's like, I'm like, Jesus. Don't do it.
So if we can agree,
it just feels all too real.
If we can agree that Michael Scott was a phenomenal top 3 character on television, and Steve Carell is a genius, and the writers are geniuses, when he leaves,
yeah,
I think Jeff's point was like it
falls off so precipitously. Like it's just like Ed Helms on there. It's like it's good to a point, and then once he takes that leadership role, it just becomes no good. Aaron is not as good a character. Like Jim and Pam are just like uninteresting people.
I think it actually becomes Dwight's show. It's not Andy Bernard's show after that point. I think it becomes the Dwight show, because if you look at the farm episode, right?
Yes.
That's a pilot.
Yes.
They were supposed to do a thing for him, right?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah, the farm episode is a pilot for a spinoff for a Dwight Schrute TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you a fan of Parks and Rec?
Yes, that's what I was about to say. So I start with The Office, I go to Parks and Rec, and then I go to West Wing, and then I come back around.
What?
I still haven't seen West Wing.
And this is never ending. This literally is never ending. My wife hates it because once she hears the piano from The Office, it's like there's this whole eye rolling that starts to happen because she knows this is what's going to happen, and then for the next couple of weeks. And I watch it at night, right? Like in the bed. Like I'll watch maybe an episode or two, and then I'll literally fall asleep because Netflix always goes to the next episode.
Yeah.
So I'll literally fall asleep watching it, and then the next morning she'll be like, "You make me sick if you fall asleep and I have to keep hearing that piano in my sleep."
Do you guys share a Netflix account, or do you have each owns, preferences or whatever?
But Queen doesn't really watch.
That's right. Oh, so it doesn't matter.
She doesn't watch TV or movies, so no. Like, if she watches something on Netflix, it's a documentary. Queenie is how can I explain this? Queenie can watch medical shows with like real surgeries and real people being cut open.
Wow.
Kind of thing. But
dark.
She can't do it. Right, but she won't watch a scary movie where it's all fake.
Is because she pokes holes in what's like the writing?
No, it's just she doesn't care for it. The only TV show that I've seen her actually like probably since we've been together is actually The Neighborhood. She likes The Neighborhood.
Wow.
With Cedric the Entertainer.
Wow.
Which is one of my favorite TV shows now too. I love it. I really think I don't think it's pretending to be anything that it's not. But if you look at the first season of The Neighborhood, they really tackled like black-white issues. How white people tend to look at the world, how black people tend to look at the world, and how those things change when the proximity changes, right? And when you're like next door to white people, and then you have much more of a viewpoint of how they look at life, you interact with them, and how they see things and how you see things, and how it can be very different. We could be looking at the same thing and have very different viewpoints based off our life experiences. I think The Neighborhood does a really good job of it. And it was a lot more serious in season 1, but now they've kind of learned how to have fun with it.
Yeah. Bun, are you concerned at all about your weed supply or how that gets to you?
That's a good question.
I don't smoke weed anymore. I haven't smoked weed in about 6 months.
Wow. What inspired the change?
Just, getting older, I got caught with some weed, and I was like, you know what? I'm good. Like,
wait, you got caught with weed?
Yeah.
Was that the Mexico story?
Yes. And so
that was that recent?
After that, I'm like, you know what? I'm over this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it's for me, I feel like if you're gonna do it, be responsible. And I felt like I was still like smoking weed and carrying weed on me like I was 20, 21 years old, and I'm like, I got too much to lose behind a dumbass little weed case.
Wow. And so
I smoked weed for 30 years, so I've been smoking weed since I was 16 years old, and I'm like, you know what? I think you're high enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you tell your guy that you no longer were
in need of his services?
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't a big deal. Obviously, there were a lot of people in position to take my place, so it wasn't a big deal. Though.
Bun, watching the news like you do, are you concerned about things that are outside of your control?
Yeah, so I've worked very hard to get to the quality of life that I've wanted for myself. And Queenie's an amazing, homemaker. And so my house is exactly the house I want to live in, and it feels like the kind of house, my house is a home, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very comfortable in that space. So if I'm left to just be in that space, I'm fine with that. And our children are grown. Our children are out of the house now. They have their own homes. So my house is just me and Queenie, right? And Queenie's my best friend in life. So I don't have to go out and commiserate with us. I guess other people may not live with their best friends. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys seem like you get along fairly well.
Yeah,
we do. We're very lucky.
And you guys could enjoy each other's company. If you didn't really have to deal with anybody else's company, you guys would get along just fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Probably, I guess, until the toilet paper runs out, then we got issues. But I mean, I'm fine with a life that's just me and Queenie. I'm perfect with that,
Yeah.
But I could see how a lot of single people could have a problem with that. I could see how people who have very small children trying to keep them occupied and entertained, that could get frustrating,
Yeah.
But for us, and then we're always kind of prepared for stuff like, living in Houston and having to deal with like Harvey and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
We don't necessarily keep like an empty pantry, right? And we have very simple tastes, right? So I don't need escargot and filet mignon for dinner every night. Now, don't get me wrong, we like a good sushi dinner, but I mean, we're fine. And Queenie's an amazing cook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And you're not too bad yourself.
Yeah, Trill Meals.
Yeah, I get her. I get by. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the Trill Meals, quiet as kept is really Queenie cooking. I'm just a narrator.
Wow, that's going to be the headline from this.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of credit based on shooting POV videos.
Right? Bun, I wanted you to point this out or expound on this. And I know we talked about this in one of the episodes that we've done with you on the podcast, but can you talk about the character of J.J. Watt, who, together with his wife, donated $350,000 to the Houston Food Bank?
Oh, I mean, J.J. Watt he's really Clark Kent, right? I have a firm belief that very quietly, J.J. Watt might be Superman. He is, when you think about All-American and apple pie and that type of shit, like that's who comes to mind for me, right? He's a very selfless individual. That's the best thing I could say about J.J. Watt. He's very, very selfless. To be the face of the NFL, have one of the best contracts you could have, man. Nobody's more down to earth than J.J. Watt is. Post Malone is giving him a run for his money. I just hung out with Post Malone.
I saw that in Houston
for the first time. I mean, you couldn't find Post Malone is really just a very kind human being.
A very genuine, very genuine guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like very comfortable in his skin. And I think that's the same thing you would say about JJ, right? Now, obviously, JJ's skin is bigger and more muscular than Post Malone. But no, I mean, JJ's easily accessible. If I text him right now, he'll text me right back, right? He's always made himself available to the city. And like JJ supports everything Houston, right? So JJ goes to Houston artist concerts, right? JJ goes to Astros games. JJ goes to Rockets games. JJ throws charity softball games at our semi-pro baseball stadium, right? He does all these different things that are so Houston, and he's not from Houston.
Where is he from?
Right, obviously. Wisconsin, I want to say.
Something
I know he
like
went to college in Wisconsin, but I think he may actually, because I know he bought a house out there recently. So, but I mean, he's as nice of a person as you could find. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know anyone that knows him that doesn't say the same things that I'm saying about him.
Bun, I've started watching recently All the Smoke, the
NBA
David
show.
Jackson and Matt Barnes,
and they have sort of like mixed their guest list between obviously the expected athletes, but also they've started to get into musicians and I would love, should everyone be able to congregate once again after these 8 weeks or 4 months or however long we have to be isolated, I would love to see you on there, you and Steven Jackson, just talking some PA shit.
Well, I mean, that's bound to happen. I just haven't had a chance to get to them. Obviously, there's a period of where they needed to be able to show, one, not just their accessibility to certain players, but two, the diversity and the range of the people that they could have these amazing conversations with. I'm actually really, really glad that they were able to get Kobe on the show before he passed untimely. Because I know the level of admiration that Stack has for Kobe. But I mean, no, I don't think people are really ready for the Bun B's Stack 5.
You don't think so?
Episode of All the Smoke, because I've known him pretty much his entire adult life, right? From those formative years up until who he is now, and we have stories.
I'm sure.
Like it's not even a joke.
I'm sure your guys' shorthand is crazy.
Like it's so funny when I think of the moments when we were like on the up, and then he was like kind of hanging around. Like we grew up like a block away from each other. So like I lived in the 3300 block, and Stack lived on the 3200 block, and so we have a very insular group of friends just based on the fact that like his best friends lived right around the corner from him. Like we all lived around the corner from each other. So we have inside of a community that's already very tight. We're even tighter because we have our own like group of friends based off the fact that we all live within like 8 houses of each other.
Man.
And so like we really we've known each other for many, many years, and he's been able to watch as we kind of ascended, and we got to sit back and watch how he ascended, and we've name dropped him in different songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's family. Like he's not just a friend. Like he's family.
Did you see the? Wait, so you're afraid of stories that would come up?
No. I just know that there's going to be. I'm not afraid of any of this. I mean, what happened. It's the way you got to tell this stuff. Like he talks about on the last episode, he talked about the shooting
Yeah, in
in
Indianapolis.
from the
Yeah,
club.
yeah,
I've been in that club a dozen times. Queenie's been there with me, and that is a very. I tend to operate in very volatile spaces, right? Like
Yeah.
that's kind of been the thing about UGK is that we didn't just go out in the country and do shows. We went to the spots where people in those cities don't go to, right? And showed up, and so it's funny to hear him tell those kind of stories about that stuff, but then still leaving certain people's names out because you don't want to implicate people.
Yeah.
In certain things. So it's going to be funny how we kind of have to tell, especially like hood stories, right? It'd be like, it'd be like, you remember when so-and-so pulled the gun on so-and-so? That was like, yo, I really thought he was finna kill that fool. Like, man, I thought he was too. And now they the best of friends, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, Bun, it's wonderful to hear your voice. I'm glad you're in such good spirits, and we really appreciate you coming on and telling us how you're doing, and it's always good to check in. We'll be doing that more with you, and send our love to Queenie, our love to you, and be safe out there, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. If you guys need any toilet paper, let me know. I know I got it.
We need so much toilet paper.
All right, so we're trying to cover all the spaces, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've talked to friends, we've talked to family. We have some cousins we're gonna call. We have a lot more artists who are interested in being on here.
We're gonna start a thing on Sundays called Fan Sundays.
Fan Sundays.
We're gonna call 3 fans. Why not?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm with it. You're with it. Hopefully they're with it.
Yeah.
They're gonna be a part of this, right?
What do you mean?
As in, like, we're not just gonna surprise them with a phone call.
No, I mean they have to send their number or whatever.
But that will be a thing. So do check that out. We need
to figure out how we're gonna collect these numbers.
Yes. And we'll hopefully do that in a way where, like, aspiring artists are not going to bother us to play their music.
No, but I think that, like, people, like, you would have conversations with, oh, you're an artist, fine, but,
I'm just
we
saying,
can talk
like,
about, like, their lives and everything.
Yeah, we want to have a personal conversation, not like, yo, put my shit on your platform.
Right. Put
press
me on,
play.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm the next one up. I sound just like Travis Scott.
Yeah, I don't want anybody who wants to sell me them on them. I want to hear how you're doing.
Right.
I don't want to be sold.
If people are looking for us, you can always find us on our socials. That's Twitter at It's The Real, Instagram at It's The Real. Go to youtube.com/itsthereal. We put all of our videos there.
Yep.
And if you guys are really rocking with us and you want to see this continue, it's never been more important than right now to join this cause and join this movement at patreon.com/itsthereal. Shout out to all of our producers who have been really pushing us along, and we appreciate you. And shout out to everybody who is interested in being a part of that. If you have $2, $3, whatever, it is all appreciated. Shout out to all of you guys.
Yes. Now let's do our third phone call. Going to call our friend Julia Rubin. Julia she works in media in New York. And
Hey.
I think we
Hey.
lost. Okay.
How
there
are
we go.
you?
You know, I have been better. How are you?
Same.
Yeah.
But in terms of how you're holding up as a chef, as a first-time kitchen tool user, how are you?
Kitchen tool user.
You know, I will say I have yet to really do a lot of kitchening. The context here being I don't know how to cook. I am temporarily living with my boyfriend who I don't normally live with in a very small apartment. And, you know, I'm like, you need to teach me some stuff so that I can survive.
Yes,
for us.
okay. So a couple of things. One,
Yes.
you guys chose your apartment
Yes.
to live in.
No. We chose his apartment.
Oh, really?
Would you like to know why?
Yes.
Oh, man. So we both live in very small apartments that are probably like 400 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is a studio. His is a 1-bedroom. So
There you
there's a bedroom door. He can cook, unlike me. So there's kitchen stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like a desk here, even though it is a single desk. There is no kitchen table at either of our places. But yeah, basically it was like, okay, we can have somewhat separate spaces, though barely, and we can feed ourselves.
And you won't die.
I hope not. I'm really trying not to.
Yeah.
And part of that is actually learning to cook.
Yeah. Yes.
How many meals in are you, would you say?
Oh my gosh. Well, so we were in LA until Saturday. And then like rushed back. We were supposed to be there through Monday.
Oh, wait. First of all, was the flight home crazy?
Yeah. Also, Julia is not somebody who enjoys flying in general.
Yeah.
So.
It's true.
So now the anxiety of like being on a plane while everybody is trying to stay away from planes, I'm sure added to that.
It did. I mean, it was like every day we got out there on Tuesday, and I had been home the weekend before, and he had been in LA, and every day we had like a different thought about like, oh, we're going to just wait it out in LA and stay at our friend's guest house for the next like 2 weeks. And then it was like, oh, what if we're here for months? Like we probably need to go back. So Friday night we booked 5:30 a.m. flights for Saturday morning.
How much were the flights?
$250, so about like $100 more than they were when we booked them.
Yeah,
which was fine. And we're lucky we were able to eat that extra $100.
Yep.
The flight was, I would say, half full because we went so early. The airport was pretty empty. On the LA end, it was also pretty empty, honestly, on the New York end, but because we took JetBlue and it's so easy to just like walk out and get your car, so we didn't have to deal with any crowds. But the thought was sort of like, oh, this is only going to get more crowded and anxiety producing the longer that we wait. So I took my Xanax, as I always do when I fly, and it was okay. But we were both really exhausted and did some like prep, and I packed up stuff for like 2 or 3 weeks. And now it's like, oh, am I not going to go back to my apartment for 2 or 3 months? Maybe. Very crazy.
Very.
Well, no, I think you can still go back to your apartment. It's just that you can't like see people on the way, right? Like you.
So.
Sorry.
For me, it's like getting there. It's like we live like he's in Brooklyn, I'm in Manhattan. We're like conservatively a 30-minute car. Yeah. So it's like, okay, do I like get in a cab? I'm trying to figure out now, like, should I go and like bring back some more stuff? Does it really even matter? Like, I don't know. But yeah, it's, this is not, I mean, it's just changing so rapidly. But yeah, it's like a really crazy thing. Like we were not planning to live together yet. So this is, or in this apartment if we ever did. So
well, you guys have been together now for, I guess, how long?
A year. It was our first night of quarantine was our anniversary.
You move in together. Do you have a stocked fridge to start your cohabitation?
Oh, great question. So because we were both going to be away largely together for 10 days, he ran down everything in his apartment. So no, but we did separate grocery runs. I ran to the Japanese grocery store near me. He used to live in Japan. So it was like, okay, like we definitely want to get these things, a lot of curry rice, powder.
And he told you what to get, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes. I mean, I like can't explain how little I know about cooking or grocery shopping, like at all. And I want to be able to I want this to be a thing that I am in control of. Like work for both of us is very crazy, but it's particularly crazy for him. So I want to be able to take on that responsibility. But at this point, it's very unclear to me what we need.
By the way, I don't even know how many years ago. It was a bunch of years ago. I was dating this girl and I was learning to cook for the first time. And she was like, okay, cool. Go to the grocery store and get rosemary. And I was like, what is that? And she was like, what? And I came back with the wrong type of rosemary, and she just laughed and laughed and laughed. And so thankfully now I know what rosemary is.
Wait, did you get the
I got crushed, it just.
Oh, you want the sprigs, right?
Yes,
yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Cool,
Listen to you. You sound like a kitchen vet.
Yeah, wait, how have you been preparing to actually, have you been watching cooking movies? Are you looking at Bon Appetit videos on YouTube? What is going into your cooking mindset?
Okay, my cooking mindset. One, I work with a bunch of people who love to cook, so they have sent me a bunch of recipes. So getting that together. I mean, right now we're sort of in get as much stuff as possible that will keep for the next few weeks. And this weekend, I think we're going to look at some recipes and recipe books. But he was like, should we read Samin Nosrat's book? That might be helpful. I don't know. There's a lot of education because he's a cook, but he considers himself a basic cook. So,
and you are not a cook, and you consider yourself not a cook. You did just start an Instagram for the two of you. And
it's just for me. But yes. He's not necessarily willing participant in this, but
no, I saw that he's very much not
with the bit.
He is not present in the Instagram at all, and you have been, I would say, not really chefing it up. It was mostly him, and you are just documenting it.
Yeah, that's where we're at so far. I think part of it is because it's the work week, we haven't had time for real instruction. It's been okay, we need to eat, or we need to do this thing, so we don't really have time. Listen, it's very nice to have someone cook and clean for you, but I'm excited to really participate in this.
Wait, you don't clean either?
I keep saying I will, and he's like, no, I got it. And I'm so sweet, but also I feel like I need to do something.
What have you done to pass the time? Have you been playing board games? Have you been doing puzzles? Have you been watching things you ordinarily wouldn't watch on Netflix?
Have you been stress arguing?
No, none of the above. Honestly, it's just been work. It's been just insane. I work for Vox.com with a V, not an F. And it's just kind of...
That has to be the worst thing to have to explain to people, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, every day, literally every day.
Julia Rubin and Brian Kilmeade.
I mean, is that a Fox person? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Fox with
an
F.
Got it. Now I got the joke.
Yeah, good joke.
Thank you. But yes, it's kind of been nonstop work. And then when I'm not working, being okay, do we need more groceries? What do we have? I had to order a bunch of stuff, to get my half of the desk set up. So I'm not even in boredom zone yet. I'm still in preparing to not live at home.
How is working from home for you?
I hate it. I really like being in an office. I like having a big screen to plug into, which luckily we have here, and that's why I'm getting a keyboard and the proper cords and a desk chair. Also, I like hanging out with my team and talking to my team, and so we've been doing video chats every day, which we do video chats all the time for meetings anyway. People travel and are remote and whatever, but yeah, so I really don't like it. But we're taking 2 1-mile walks a day for now during
That's
the
great.
work week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, I saw that Vox with a V put up this great explainer video about why the coronavirus happened and why viruses like it will continue to happen. And it's just an incredible video. It's probably 3 minutes long or something. Everybody should go watch it. But how are your parents doing?
Oh man, they're okay. I mean, it's fucking weird, right? I was there last weekend, not this past weekend, but I was there 10 days ago, and was a little worried about coming home, but it was really before things got insane and the recommendations were do not travel.
Yeah.
So I was worried about going home and having been in New York, and all of our parents above 60, or not all of our parents above 60, but my mom just turned 60. I was actually there for her 60th.
Happy birthday.
Happy belated.
Happy belated. Thank you, Mom. She'll definitely listen to this. But yeah, they're okay. I mean, they are definitely worried. I've been talking to them about grocery delivery services. But my dad can work from home, and they have a house. Having a house, so nice. Can't even imagine.
Listen, you've upgraded from a studio to a 1-bedroom.
Yeah, you didn't have to do anything.
True. There were some, I will say my apartment is a bit, it's the finishes are a little nicer. There's a little more light. There are pros and cons. But you know what? We have video games here, which is not a thing that I necessarily need, but it's great for him.
Is that something that you're going to get into?
Yeah,
are you going to be a real Grand Theft Auto?
Cooking, cleaning, playing video games.
Listen, maybe. I will tell you, I have a ton of friends who never touched a video game before, and in the last week are oh, I'm gonna get into this. I have friends who just who live in Brooklyn, and just got married. So also a lot of friends where I'm like, what an interesting first year of marriage for you. This is crazy.
Yeah. I could see myself getting into like edibles.
Oh, I mean, that was also a thing that before we left LA, I was like, you know, we all need to make sure we have our thing. So I don't know how to implicate or not implicate on this podcast, but yes, there were edible runs were taken. I got a re-up on my Xanax. This is pretty funny. We today on our morning walk went to Otway and this isn't funny. They're like selling off a lot of their natural wines. So we bought a bunch of those and supported the local business and continued to stock. There's like a lot.
It's also in support of you wanting to get drunk.
Yes, and also quite like Jeff, I like barely drink. Right, I like this is like it's just not really a thing that I do.
Right.
And my boyfriend is definitely someone who's like into wine and into like liquor and like knows like a lot of things. So we have an abundance of quote funky wines here. So
Julia,
thrilling.
Considering how much you're working, which sounds like just as much as before you were quarantined.
Yeah.
Is your mindset strictly about pieces that have to do with the coronavirus and everything that's around it?
Those are conversations that I'm having every day. It's pretty hard.
Yeah.
So there is a subset of pieces that we had in the works before that had obviously nothing to do with coronavirus. And some of those were killing and some of them were holding because they might be okay. Like there's sort of this sense of like, will people want counter programming?
Yeah.
But all new assignments are coronavirus related. We're assigning a ton both in-house and to freelancers. But yeah, my like kind of last big in the before times piece is going to go tomorrow because if we don't publish it, I just think it's about a business called Decium. It's a big beauty business. Everyone should read it. But things could really materially change if we wait a few weeks, right? It's like, will this company exist? Like,
yeah.
It's really wild. So yeah, but I mean, right now coverage is very much focused coronavirus. I mean, I've never been in a news environment like this. I've been working in journalism for the last decade and like, you know, it's certain, you know, colleagues of mine who were reporters during the financial crisis. It was not like this. I think about the 2016 election, like was not like this. I think the closest analog is 9/11, but even there, like we've never seen a news environment like this. It's wild.
What is your daily structure like? Like, have you found it? Have you found a regular time to go to sleep, a regular time to wake up?
Yeah, I'm like thinking a lot about it. Right now, the plan is like wake up at 8:30. I have a 9:30 standing meeting, go on a walk after, try to eat lunch around like noon or 1, have another meeting at 3. After that, take a walk. I'm really going to try to be able to like allow myself like turn off the computer, stop working at like 6 or 7, eat, and then my plan is like be in bed reading by 11. Have not achieved these things yet, but that's
a good plan
definitely
though.
the goal. Thank you. I think it sounds good. I think it seems, sustainable. So it's also like this is the big news week. I think like there's such a rush. I think we will fortunately get into like a new normal, and work will be slightly more predictable.
What's one thing I'm not trying to cause a fight. What's one thing in your boyfriend's apartment that you're like, that's curious?
I don't know if I like was trying to find books to like prop my computer up on, and I was like, why do you have an MCAT book? How do I not know this about you?
That's
like
really
whenever
good.
Like that's insane. Like he's also a journalist, and like we've talked about like, oh, like what were other things, and like I think like law is a thing that makes a ton of sense for him. I could imagine him having gone to law school, but I was like, literally, why do you have this? And he was like, oh yes, I thought about going to medical school a few years ago. And
so it's not for the future.
Yeah, I thought it was for the future.
No, it's not. No, too old. We're too old now, I think.
I don't know. In this whole new world, I don't think that titles matter anymore.
Or
I don't
that
think
time
anything
matters.
Yeah, nothing matters.
You know what? You're right. Oh, maybe
in the future, we're all going to be doctors.
Oh man, it's true. Home doctors. We'll see. But yeah, that I was like, oh, cannot wait to learn so much more about you, I guess.
All right, so this week, do you have any culinary plans that you're really looking forward to? You're like, you know what? I'm going to make that soup. Or I'm going to...
Let me get into jackfruit.
Yeah.
We are gonna make the Charlie Bird salad, which is very delicious. I'm excited about that. What other stuff did we get that I'm really into? I mean, this weekend is gonna be a lot of let's plan and get the thing. I'm also excited. We got we both like a miso, a sesame, so we got a lot of recipes that involve those.
It feels like you're not just like, I'm gonna go for basic recipes, and maybe that's just because your boyfriend can cook. But you don't seem sort of cowed by the idea of this seems like a hard recipe, like a hard thing to learn.
I'll be real. No idea what is easy and what is hard. Everything is new to me.
Ignorance is bliss. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So, we will see how it goes. But, yesterday I was instructed on how to boil water. So, it's real 101 over here right now.
Oh, no, I saw the post. I'm going to like it.
You should like it.
Yeah.
Julia, before we let you go, are there any Twitter accounts or Instagram accounts that you follow that are really important to you right now that you think people might be interested in?
Oh, man. I'm really trying to be off Twitter. I think it's, pretty difficult. A thing to know about my Twitter consumption is I have a lot of mute words. So Trump, nuclear, plane crash, all of these things. And it's irresponsible to be muting coronavirus. So, and also that's sort of all that's going on there.
Yeah.
So what's been nice about Instagram is, so I started this account. It's just for the threshold is people that I text with, people who I have their phone number. And then I've been following them all back. So it's kind of a nice little actual close friends thing. So I don't have any social media recs for anyone. Oh wait, but I have a related rec, which is a bunch of friends of mine and their friends started a blog called Indoor Voices. It's great. It is so old school internet, and it's just a ton of writers and friends who are blogging about just whatever the fuck they want. I highly recommend it. It's great.
Also, two things. One, you have you have lobbied for years to be on our podcast.
Yes, I didn't think it would take a pandemic, but whatever.
Does this satisfy that need?
Yeah, it's not quite the in-depth interview I'm used to.
Right.
But no, this is great. And, I assume we'll do some check-ins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I'm around.
What are 3 episodes that you've particularly liked about our podcast?
Oh my God. Okay, let's see. Mary H.K. Choi, who is amazing and who has written for me a ton, and I'm obsessed with her books. David Cho, who has become a good friend of mine through you guys.
Yes.
I know. And your mom, obviously, who I also loved on this podcast. The best.
Well, those are 3 great episodes. Please do check them out. Julia, we love you. Stay safe. Be well. And keep that amazing attitude of yours. Not just with the cooking, but in terms of everything. And we'll be checking in.
Oh, thanks. Love you guys, too. Talk soon.
All right.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye. Shout out to Marsha St. Hubert. Shout out to Bun B. And shout out to Julia Rubin. I think that, again, slow going this morning.
But I feel good at the end of this.
Yeah. I feel like this is
now I could run through a wall or whatever. But it's just
or watch The Office, whatever.
I don't really want to watch The Office.
I'm just saying.
I'm rewatching Arrested Development right now, which has been great.
Really?
Arrested Development seasons 1 and 2 are just so good.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm rewatching that,
Awesome.
which I hadn't done for a number of years because Arrested Development fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You mean the Netflix?
The Netflix version
era?
is no good.
Yeah.
But seasons 1 and 2 are incredible.
Are you looking to read any books?
We have a bunch.
We do have a lot of books here.
We have a lot of books. I just I honestly haven't had the curiosity to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just because it just feels so overwhelming with everything. But I would like to read some books.
All right. And maybe there's a book club.
Yeah, well, Erica Ramirez hit me up and she was like, hey, remember that book club that she and I were talking about a month ago? Would we like to actually do that? And I was like, I can't even think about like going to the library right now. Like, I don't even know if that's open.
Right, but I mean, Amazon is.
Yeah, I don't.
So-
So I don't really want to buy books right
I'm,
now.
I'm just saying.
I just don't want to
It's not impossible.
choose between books and toilet paper. You know?
Well, hit up Bun B.
Yeah.
Jeff, as always, not for real, for real.
Sure.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Brat!